Isabel Nakamoto here. Very nice to meet both of you.
It's a pleasure. We've been waiting for this moment. We've been working in our minds and thinking about it so much. We heard you're a celebrity and we just wanted to learn more about you. I have so many questions in my mind.
So well, I've got many answers for your questions.
Great.
Here's my first answer for your question. So I was at the airport the other day in at Starbucks, and someone asked me, "Excuse me, mademoiselle, why the mask?" And so I oblige. I say, "Well, thank you for asking. There's a problem with my face." And she said, "Oh," she was a little bit feeling sorry for me. I said, "Yes, big problem. I'm too pretty.
Oh my
I'm
God.
too pretty." And that tends to distract people, and
Yes.
it's a big problem. And so she was very understanding. And now the other thing I say when people ask me why the mask, is that I'm in crypto. And in crypto, you can be cryptic.
I see. That makes sense.
Okay.
Question: is that a gold mask or is that a different material? Does
It's
that have
pure gold. Absolutely. It's pure gold. I did it myself.
Rich
It took a
people.
long time. It's very beautiful, pure gold. And in addition to hiding my beautiful face, it actually have filtering capabilities. It prevents, actually, I never got COVID because of that mask. Someone should look at that. There's some amazing property of gold that people have not analyzed yet.
I can't help but notice your last name. So, any chance that you're related to Satoshi?
Well, some people have been speculating that I'm the daughter of Satoshi Nakamoto, who, as you know, created Bitcoin in 2009, and I cannot confirm or deny that rumor, and I cannot also not confirm whether or not I'm currently a crypto billionaire. Some people have speculated
Yeah.
that might be the case.
Alleged crypto billionaire.
Allegedly, yes.
Well, I heard that in 2021, your dad was worth, or your alleged dad, unsure of dad, was worth like $73 billion or something like that.
Well, there've been a lot of speculation about that, and I think that in a different podcast we might get into who is Satoshi Nakamoto, and I got into fights with actual very other billionaires like me about who is
So you are a
Satoshi Nakamoto.
billionaire. You just
I
admitted
am a
to
billionaire.
me.
Yes. Well, allegedly. But I
Allegedly.
got nearly into fist fights
Oh,
with them. They would deny the identity of Satoshi, and it's an incredible story, and a lot of people are so passionate about that topic. It's nearly like religion or politics. You nearly cannot talk. Actually, I'm not even sure I want to get into that topic for the inaugural podcast here. It's a very sensitive topic. Right?
Well,
And
I'm not an expert, but what I hear is that there's a very strong connection with Steve Jobs and Apple. Am I on the
it's
right?
absolutely incorrect.
Oh,
Yes,
okay. So what do you mean by that?
it's not Steve Jobs. I love Steve Jobs. It's not Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is not the creator of Bitcoin.
How do you know?
Who is that?
Well, I know. I'm Isabel Nakamoto, and of course I know. Of course
Give
I
us the
know.
name. Give us the name. Who is the creator of
You know, we'll keep that for it. Frankly, I think that's an episode of Isabel Nakamoto live another time. I think we'll keep that. Also, it's a little bit too sensitive, and it might create a riot. I mean, this is a very sensitive. I'm actually not kidding. People have been getting into fights. It's nearly religious about who is Satoshi Nakamoto. It's really incredible, as a matter of fact.
So tell us a little bit. How does it feel to be Isabelle Nakamoto? How is life for you?
So, I've been around for some time with the same persona, about 5 years. Although I went dormant. I went in hibernation for I would say about 3 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided to come back. To
Mm.
come back. The reason why I decided to come back uh, is not clear.
Mm.
Okay, so we'll have to see. There's no clarity
Where
about
did
this.
you where did you get the cap that you're wearing? I
Yeah.
I
So no, thank you for asking. I appreciate it. So there is I think you know the answer to that, but I still want to answer it. There is a project that I'm not officially connected with. It's called RXXO. And what you see here is a symbol of RXXO, the diamond eyes. Obviously, uh, Bitcoin is
Mhm.
the digital gold. RXXO, and Shahir knows it very well, is a digital diamond. And so I've never met Shahir, but I'm a big supporter of his project, RXXO, RXXO, the digital diamond. And therefore, I decided to show my support with that cap.
Mm.
How did you find their presence at different concerts? Because I've seen a few pictures of yours, and I've seen that you've been enjoying a few conferences lately.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
Tell us
Well,
what's your perception about the concept of RICSO. I mean, I know it might not be the topic today, but I'd love to get some inputs from an alleged billionaire
yeah,
on my
yeah,
side.
yeah. But I could, of course, go hours on the topic of Rexo. But here's what I would say: if you're listening to us and you don't know Rexo, you should go to rexo.io. And what you should do is create an account. It takes 10 seconds. And what Shohi and his team are going to do is that they're going to send you your first digital diamond. The first digital diamond. They can be only one diamond, the same way they can be only one gold. There's not there's not Isabel's gold and Anna's gold and Shohi's gold. There's only one gold. Same thing with diamond. You cannot have 20 types of digital diamond. You need an official diamond, right? And what you're
Mhm.
doing, Shahir, with your team, with Danielle and Ghislaine, and there's our other guy, Bruno, the French guy. What you're doing is that you're creating the official diamond the same way Satoshi created the official gold. And it's extremely powerful. People don't understand how powerful that is. Here's a beauty. Here's a beautiful stone, for example, of 0.01 carat. It's an orange. I do not know the quality of that stone, but I already know it's beautiful. It's a princess cut, and Isabel is a princess. You did it on purpose, Shahid, didn't you? You're trying to flatter me. Yes, I see it coming. I'm a
This is
princess.
almost a crimson. I really like it. It's a very special color.
Oh,
It's
yes. Yeah. Are you a Crimson fan?
I love all reds and all intense colors.
Well,
General.
now that you say that, I think Shahir is going to have to send you a
You
beautiful,
have
a
to. I think
beautiful
I'm
stone.
building a collection.
And you should. What is your streak on the Rexo network, Anna? How
What is
many
my
days in a row have you mined diamond? Have you spun the wheel? What is your
oh
streak? Do you
I
know?
have to check. I have to check.
okay. So when you would go on wheel, you would
I
see a
rolled
number.
4 times if I remember correctly.
Nice.
Okay.
But I
Okay.
I've been gifted diamonds because well that's what girls are supposed to be. So
Exactly.
it works
So,
okay.
Shahir, I hope you heard that. Girls want diamonds. So, Isabel would like to respectfully request
Mhm.
that she will receive a beautiful diamond from you. So, you should go to find Isabel Nakamoto's account, Shahir,
Mhm.
and send her a beautiful stone. I think she deserves it.
Okay, we'll see. So we'll decide by the end of the podcast, Isabel, if we'd like to
All
send
right,
you.
okay.
So we're gonna send you a diamond anyways, of course, because of your time that you're giving us right now, your very valuable time. But I'm not sure if it's gonna be a fancy one or if it's gonna be a colorless one.
Yes.
So we'll decide.
And so I have something. Yeah.
We need clarity. So maybe you should send the clear one.
Oh, we need clarity. Well, not too much clarity though. Okay. We still need to keep a little bit of mystery.
Okay.
So a little bit of clarity, but not too much clarity, please. Um,
So tell us more about your journey so far as a Web3 influencer or an alleged billionaire, however you want to phrase it.
yeah. Well, here's what I would say. You both own Bitcoin or crypto in general?
Yeah.
I'm new to the scene, so for me,
Oh, wonderful.
I'm paying attention.
Wonderful. Well, in the history of humanity, I like to be dramatic, I know. In the history of business, there have never been an asset, right? An asset class, as we say in finance, that went from zero to at the peak $3 trillion in 10 years. That's what crypto did. It never happened. Nothing goes from zero to 3 trillion in 10 years. That's what Bitcoin and Ethereum and all of the other coins together did. Now, of course, that souffle went down a little bit. It's now about 1 trillion. 1 trillion is a lot of money. 1 trillion is a lot of money.
You're saying Bitcoin is roughly 1/6 of that by itself.
Well, it's actually a
5.0.
little bit more than that. Right now, the total market cap of crypto is about maybe $1 trillion, and my bet is that Bitcoin is about 300 billion or 350 billion. Shahir can confirm. The point is that it's big, it's massive, and why is it big? Because people want it. Clearly, you cannot create a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme. If it were a Ponzi scheme, it would have collapsed. Right? The Ponzi scheme is going to go up and then to collapse. And on top of that, in the Ponzi scheme, there's a deception, there's a lie, there's a cheat. The beauty about Bitcoin is two things. Number one, it's all transparent because it's a code on the blockchain. Therefore, there is no lie, no cheat, no fraud, no deception. So it cannot be a Ponzi scheme already. Second, it's not designed to collapse. A Ponzi scheme, by definition, is going to collapse. Okay, and it collapses usually pretty fast. It's hard to imagine a world where Bitcoin disappears and goes to zero.
562 billion, by the way.
And I don't know that much, but I've seen that a lot of the banks are starting to develop their own digital currencies. So if the banks aren't on the game, then it has to be somewhat legitimate. I'm just saying, as an outsider
That's a very
thinking,
good point. There's one argument among the crypto people. They call it the wall of money theory. The wall of money. Imagine a tsunami of money coming into crypto from traditional finance. And the argument is the following. Crypto went from 0 to 3 trillion with no banks. Most of the money is in banks. Most of the money is controlled by what's called the institutional agent, the bank, the hedge fund, the investors. In the first vague of crypto, none of that money came from banks. It all came from people, from me, from Shahir, from people who put their money on their own into crypto with no banks as a gatekeeper or as an investor. But if you have a new asset class, something interesting happened in finance is that all the hedge funds, all of the banks, all of the mutual funds even need to own a little bit of that asset class. And the reason is that it diversifies their risk. Okay, so if you have a 3 trillion asset class, the banks need a little piece of it. It's finance. It's one of the rule of finance is diversification. Okay, in what's called an unrelated asset class, because then they spread their risk across many different type of investment. As soon as the institutional investors, the banks, the hedge fund, want a piece of that, there's only 21 million Bitcoin, and nearly all of them are already taken. So the theory is that that wall of money arrives, and the price of Bitcoin goes from $30,000 to $300,000 or to $3 million. Now, will it happen or not? We don't know, because there are some challenges, notably with the use of energy. Like Bitcoin is not cheap in terms of energy. That's another topic that people are fighting about. It's really a sensitive topic, by the way. So my point is that you're right. The banks are getting into it, and therefore, according to people in crypto, the wall of money is going to hit crypto, and the price is going to go not just 10x, but we say, not a financial advice, of course, 100 times bigger.
So, Isabel, I have a question. You're an expert, and I'm new to this. So, help me understand what's the value of the Bitcoin or all the cryptocurrencies based on? We had the fiat dollar, and that was lost in
Yeah.
the 70s, and now we're just printing money. We don't actually know what it's backed by. So, what is crypto backed by?
So I love that question. Of course, I could spend an hour on it, and we only have 11 minutes. But here's the short version of it. You see my beautiful mask. It's
Yes.
made of solid gold. Why is gold valuable?
Why? It's because it's rare.
Because it's rare.
Also,
Because
because it doesn't deteriorate. It doesn't
True, but
oxidize.
that is true, by the way. Yes, that's correct. It's rare. It's immutable. It's distinctive. You know it's gold.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But first, it's rare. And by the way, gold is useless. You couldn't make a tool out of gold or a weapon. It's too soft.
Yes.
Try to hit someone with a spear made of gold, and it's going to break or bend on anybody's shield. It's a useless metal, but it's rare, distinctive, immutable. Therefore, instead of using shell to transact, maybe I don't know how many, I don't know, 5,000 years ago, maybe 3,000 years ago, we have to check. Here, you should check. We said we're going to use gold.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's useless. It's rare. Now, of course, if a meteor full of gold hit Earth, what happens? Is someone getting rich?
Oh.
Let's say a big meteorite, right? Full of gold, more gold than there is in the world, hits California.
Then it's
What
price.
happens?
It's price. It doesn't have any value anymore. Valueless.
That's right. It kills completely the value of gold. Completely. Completely. Right? So the main element is that it's verifiably rare. Verifiably rare. Right? Now, in a prison, how do you pay for things? Let's say I want Shahir to protect me in prison. Isabel needs protection. How do I pay Shahir in terms of money?
Well, it depends on the
cigarettes.
system.
Cigarettes are not smoked in prison. You don't smoke them. They are a unit of exchange. They're a way to pay for Shahir to protect me in prison. I won't go to prison, but because I do everything legally. I don't lie, I don't cheat, I don't steal, I don't break the law. So I won't go to prison. Okay? But a cigarette is rare. Okay? And therefore it's the exchange. So the point is that it's completely arbitrary. If enough people think that, I don't know, cans are rare enough and distinctive enough to be a money of exchange, it's going to be used. It's really a terrible type of currency, but it's a pure arbitrary decision. It's completely arbitrary. And so is Bitcoin. But once enough people agree, it becomes an agreed upon system that is hard to change. Yes, Shahir.
I think it's a little bit about validation as well. As long as the majority is validating the Bitcoin, it would always be holding the value that it possesses right now. And you know, I just wanted to ask you about your encounters when you well, you just explained about Bitcoin and how it's going to be holding the value. There would still be certain uh, people who would say this is not something for the future. How would you make them understand? Like I remember I had a colleague and we were experimenting with the metaverse and all those things. Um, I had a couple of people who did not really believe in the technology and what I was exactly saying. I made them experience the headsets so they can actually see what it's capable of. Now, how would you actually push people? I mean, towards crypto? Would you do that, or would you do something else to actually make the masses understand? I know there's a ton of people who already know and believe in the technology, and I don't know if I should. But yeah, so give
Are
us your thoughts on
you
that.
seriously, Isabel?
I,
Okay, we
I,
lost.
I like I like to distract people. Um, so here's the point. Anna
Hmm.
doesn't own any Bitcoin currently, and here's what I would say. Uh, what you should do, Anna, is to open um, a MetaMask wallet. It's probably the simplest wallet to open. And then Shahir is going to send you, okay, Shahir, $1 in Ethereum. $1. That's it. And then you will own a little bit of Ethereum. And that experience of owning a crypto asset is better than any explanation because in your wallet that only you control, no government, no bank can take that dollar from you. There's no intermediary entre you and that dollar.
Mm.
If you lose everything, which I know you won't, but you will still have that dollar. Nobody can take it from you as long as you remember the key, because you know that the most important rule in crypto is if you know your key, you own the crypto, right? If
So
it's your key, it's your crypto.
very, very interesting. I didn't know that. And that's because there's a lot of conversations around the fact that banks would not be able to give your money if something went bust. And that you would lose your money that's sitting in the bank if there was a problem with the economy. So you're saying crypto is not a subject to that kind of loss.
That's correct. Nobody can take it away from you, and there is a psychological um, uh, element to that. And then when you realize that you're not there's a certain freedom that comes with it. That is nearly you get a little bit excited just knowing. That's a very interesting experience. You own that crypto just because you remember the key, right? So you just need to remember that C trade. It's a series of words, or you can, if it's a lot of crypto, you probably put it in a vault, right? You put that phrase in a vault so that nobody can take your crypto away, or you remember it, or you
Mm.
hide it, right? And so that is there's something very profound, really philosophical about the fact that now you have complete freedom with an asset that you own that nobody else can touch. And there's one more element I want to say, and it's the fact that the dollars, the government can print anytime. So the value of a dollar 20 years ago was much less. In other words, you can buy a lot less today with $1
Oh,
than you could 20 years ago.
yeah.
Right? I have a friend in Lebanon. When he grew up in Lebanon, one Lebanon pound was worth $1. Today, it takes 100,000 Lebanon pounds to equal $1 because government can always print money.
Isabel, from a very practical standpoint of a woman that cooks and shops, I can tell you when I came to Canada, I used to be able to go to the shopping store and fill a cart for $200. Now I need $600 to fill up the same amount.
Yeah.
So went 3 times in terms of purchasing power
Yes.
down the value.
And I want to acknowledge something because I know we're getting soon toward the end of the podcast. Anna, you look marvelous, and in particular, the thank you. The gold that you have on your outfit is a very thoughtful touch
Well,
to joining us today.
I figured I'd make you feel welcomed.
I appreciate it. Merci.
Okay.
We still have 2 minutes, and so with a couple of other podcasts that I've been doing, we usually do a small takeaway. So, would you like to say something memorable that everybody out there start to talk about? And Isabel was on the podcast, and
Well, here's the thing I want to say. There is another, in addition to be so pretty and distracting, in addition to being crypto so encrypting, there's a third reason why I have a mask.
Mhm.
And the reason for me is that, and it touched on the question of freedom. And it's not about anonymity, although that's part of it too, but that's the cryptic point. It's about being different. Part of freedom is to break codes. Part of freedom is to do what you want and not to worry about what other people think. And it's the highest level of freedom. It's a very, very difficult freedom because as humans, Isabel is a human too. As humans, we care a lot, too much about what other people think about us. And for me, looking different and breaking the code of having to identify yourself, you're supposed to. You're not supposed to hide your face, especially before pandemic. Now it's not that of a statement, but before pandemic, hiding your face is nearly a violent expression of non-conformity, nearly violent. And now less so because everybody is masked quite often, right? And so for me, the expression of freedom, the expression of saying, I can be different is extremely important. And so my message to both of you and to our listeners is be different. We're all going to die anyway, right? We're going to die pretty soon. But so we have to live like we don't care about other people because ultimately that's part of freedom. And caring about other people, but no, we need to care about other people. We don't want to care about what they think about us, right? We should care about what we think about ourselves, but we shouldn't care too much about what they think about us. That's my message. Don't care too much about what other people are thinking about you.
I'm gonna say, open Pandora's box. I have so many questions for next episodes.
Certainly. So yeah, I was saying the same. I mean, we would love to have some extension to this in the coming episodes, and I'd like to, hand it to Anna for ending the show. So yeah, we'll see you next week. And if you'd like to add something to what Isabel just said.
Isabel, thank you for joining. We'll see you next time.
Au revoir.